Hey everyone, welcome back. I wanted to bring y'all a little bit different series, a little bit different sort of way for me to use all of my palettes in my collection. I had previously done something similar to this in 2024, so last year. I would do 1 week, one palette on my Instagram, and I think I did that like twice a month. And then I also just sort of really late combine it as like a no pen left behind, meaning use all the shades within a given palette. So it's kind of the concept here, but my main focus is just to getting use out of all of my palettes. This is not a declutter or keep sort of aspect to it. It's simply just use my palettes, give love to every single one. I'm trying to accomplish to use every shade. This is the intro. There is going to be one specific palette in this video that's going to be a constant throughout the year, just because it is my oldest palette in my collection, and I wanted to use all of the shades in here at least 10 times, and then just get really a lot of use out of it. So being said, that palette is my Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the very first collab she did with Morphe. This is the very first rendition of this palette, because I know that they had reformulated and then sort of packaged and designed it. So I do have the OG original. That'll be probably one of my favorites, just given that it has majority of warm tones, majority of like just basic colors that you can wear every day, so that you know you kind of have like no fuss looks. You can throw in a little bit of pop of color. You have some really good deepening shades. You have like just beautiful overall array. So I have already started marking this palette, as you can see with the little dots on them. And then I already have the sheet ready for it. I am going to add all of my previous usage on here. I'm going to transfer this to here. I am going to color code blue from last year or this year, and then red will be for 2026, but this palette will stay all year round. If I go over, that's perfectly fine. I'm anticipating to go over on a lot of these and just use this palette. So I think this is a perfect palette also to pair with every single other palette in my collection, just because it's just got basically everything in one. So I find that this palette still performs great, beautifully. I have no issues blending with anything. The shimmers are not anything special. They do show up, they are pretty, they are vibrant still, and honestly, this past couple of months when I restarted getting into makeup because of my long break, I have been enjoying just dabbling into these and some of the browns, and then deepening it up with the black all the time and calling it a day, which is odd for me, but yeah, so this palette is going to be the one that stays in all year round. The next palette I had chosen is one that I decluttered, and then I think towards the end of 2024 I saw someone on Instagram pull it back out and use it, and that inspired me to pull it back out and put it into my main collection. And I have been toying with this back and forth, but I said I've already stuck it in here. I have to commit to what I said, stand on what I say, and at least I know that if I get use out of this palette, it'll help me further determine whether I'm going to fully keep this in my main collection. So this is the Wet n Wild Lights Off Color Icon 10 pan palette. I'll mention this thousands and thousands of times, but I bought this palette because it looked a lot like the Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic from her Vault collection. I believe it's Dark Magic. It's the one that the color story looks exactly like this, or very similar, and I wanted to compare the two because obviously you can't get those anymore. This one I believe you can still get, but this one has a lot of more of the cooler tones, some grays. I mainly am keeping it because of these three little like shimmer shades here. I mean, this one and this one are more like toppers. This one is a full-on like light gold. I don't really use these two, the brown and that copper. Like I don't know what it is about those two, but maybe my style has changed, because previous palette I just told y'all I was all into the browns on that one. So yeah, I felt like this is good for January because it's a very moody, after the holidays it's very like dreary and it's just all kind of calm. So the third palette I had chosen is one that had been gifted to me very, very kindly, along with some other fabulous and wonderful gifts from Annika, or Anne, I believe. I always want to call her Annika just because of her Instagram handle, but I will pop up a picture of her here. Absolute fabulous friend. And she does absolute beautiful looks, and I love watching all of her content, from reels to her posts, just anything. Like I love it. And I've been wanting this palette, and I offered to buy it off of her, but she insisted to just send it to me, which was very, very thoughtful and generous of her. And this one definitely has the cooler tones to it. It has your grays, it has your blues, it has a little bit of silvers, has a little bit of more brightness in here. It is kind of hard to tell because of the reflective packaging, but I figured, you know what, this palette I think is January, like definition of what January to me looks like in a palette. And it doesn't matter if it's named Blueberry Muffin, but again, sorry, it's BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin if I didn't mention that, but I just think that this is absolute, like, perfect. So I'm excited to get more use off of that one as well. This next palette is not really January specific or cool tone specific. I just, whenever I was kind of organizing and going through all my palettes and trying to make sure each month had about equal of number of palettes, some months have to have maybe like one extra or something, and this one just kind of got thrown into January slots. So it's not really winter when you look at it, but I'm also kind of looking at it and thinking, well, it is kind of dark. It is kind of a little bit moody. This is the ColourPop Or Kid You Not, which also has been kindly gifted to me by DW from Dub's Beauty Diary as well. She gifted me this one because this is another palette that I was looking to buy, and I offered as well. Anytime someone offers to send me a palette, I always offer first if I can buy it off of them, because I know how hard it took their hard-earned money to buy this, and then to send it for shipping, and then taking the time out of the day to actually go and drop it off. So don't worry, I'm not a complete cheapo when it comes to some of these things. I do offer to buy things off of my friends, but like I was mentioning, this palette definitely has more deeper, moodier sort of color tones. There is a few like maybe pops of color in here, but for the most part I think it'll work, and it'll be kind of fun to pair with some of these other palettes and see like what kind of color combinations, what kind of looks I can get out of them. So I'm excited. And the last palette I had chosen is one that I anticipated, one that I am wearing on the eyes today, one that I have a feeling that I am not going to be able to put down because I'm always going to want to gravitate towards it. I'm always going to want to be like using it. New indie brand as well, so checking that off of my makeup resolutions as well, which that video is coming at the end of this month, so stay tuned. And it is the Singe Beauty palette. This is the Paisley Hoot one. This is the brand owned by Angelica Ninkovist here on YouTube. I'm pretty sure all of y'all know who she is, but if you don't, to me she is the queen of color. She is queen. Like, I absolutely adore her. I love her accent. I love the way that she presents in her YouTube videos. I love the way that she puts a bunch of thoughtfulness into all of the videos, all of her looks, all of the content she produces. So appreciate her. If you're not following her, highly suggest. I'm so glad I got to try something from her brand. I was originally going to try the Gate Temptation, but then looking at videos and looking at this one and really studying, I was like, I don't know what it is about this one, but I'm falling more in love with this palette. So to me, because I wanted to use it more, and because I just want to just love this palette, like I'm already thoroughly enjoying it. But yeah, this one kind of is like January moody, but kind of like springy. You can throw it in a little bit of fall, you can throw in maybe a little bit of Christmas, so it is basically an all year round palette. But I wanted to give this more love. I want to use it, I want to play around with it some more. I'm already kind of getting familiar with it. All of the mattes have been blending so easily. Like, that is a shocker, because for me, I always have a problem blending mattes on my eyes because I have a problem eye. This one doesn't like to blend, this one likes to blend. Maybe it's the eye primer, I have no idea, and the shimmers, top notch. Like, so smooth, so creamy, they apply so beautifully, and they're just gorgeous. Like, So yeah, like I'm excited. I like the really like mutedness to this. It's not anything bright, I mean, with the exception of course these shimmers, but yeah, I think it's an absolute gorgeous palette. She did phenomenal on this and her previous palettes, but this one just, oh, it spoke to me. There was an eye look that she did immediately when this came in the mail. I recreated it. I was like, I have to. So that is all of the palettes for January that are going to be in my focus ones. As always, have an awesome rest of your day and or week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye, guys.